Hi, I'm Soshana and
I'm Joyce.
And today we have a special guest, our friend Debra Kulas from Debra Kulas Designs, and we want to give you a warm welcome.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for joining us.
me.
Yeah, it's going to be fun.
It is.
Yeah.
Actually, yes. I want to tell you, Joyce,
Uh-huh.
Debra, she's very special to me, okay?
Why?
She's
'Cause
very, very important.
She works with you all the time. So
She does. She does.
Yeah.
She's the beautiful of beautiful Georgia homes.
So how does she help you?
She helps us because she's a designer,
Right.
and she helps our clients. She helps our clients to prepare their homes for sale.
Oh, so is that what you specialize in? Or you do other designs as well?
Oh, I do other design as
Oh,
well.
okay.
Soshana and I talked about this several years ago and partnered up because we found a need for people to be able to make their homes exactly what people were looking for or more attractive.
Yeah.
There's many people that can't afford to maintain their homes, or maybe they just don't know what to do. So we've been able to go in and help people actually get a return on their investment.
Yeah.
And so that's a wonderful feeling.
I think we just don't know what to do.
It's true.
I even for me, so I tend to buy in sets.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of hate it because it looks just too boring.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Because if you were to buy all these things in sets, then okay, it looks uniform in some sense, but it's boring. Yeah, but then that's the safe route for me.
Mm-hmm.
It's because I don't know what to do.
Right.
I think a lot of people are in my shoe though.
Right. So I definitely am in your shoes. Okay. I know I'll go to the store and I'll see things that I think that are pretty.
Mm-hmm. You bring it home.
I
Nothing
bring them
matches.
home. Okay, I bring them home.
Nothing matches.
And it's not that it doesn't match. It's not that it doesn't match. It's just that, I put it someplace. And I'm like, why doesn't it look as nice as I imagined it in my head? Okay?
Mm.
I'm going to give you an example.
Mm-hmm.
Debra helped me with my office. Okay?
Yeah.
So I was like, you know what? She says, let's go shopping. So we go shopping. And she's like, okay, get that, get this, get that, and that. Okay, cool. We get home. We didn't do it that day because it was too late. So I bring the things inside and I'm like, oh, well, if that's all she's going to use, I could do it. So I'm like putting things up. I'm like, this is not it. I move it. No, not it. So then I'm like,
she comes along.
I'm feeling like I need to get something to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Then I get her on the phone.
Mm-hmm.
She's like, okay, move this. Just scoot it over a little bit. Move this over there. Move that over there.
It looks good.
And it looks good.
Exactly the same things.
And in minutes, like,
Hold on a sec. So exactly the same things. You didn't add anything.
No.
None of that.
No.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Certainly a talent.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And just things like that. As far as the clients are concerned, it's really important because since I don't have that skill,
Right.
Since I don't have that skill, and it's so important in presenting the houses.
Right.
Whenever people come into the homes, they need to feel like, okay, I can relate to this. There was a time before gray became popular that nobody knew what color they should paint the house. Yeah. I didn't know either. So then when gray came around, that made it a little bit easier. But it's like things like that. I don't know. I need an expert. And that's why it was great. Like when Debra came to my world, into my real estate world, because she's been in my world for a while. But when she came into my real estate world, it was just like a sigh of relief. Because now I knew that, we can now empower our clients to have, present their houses beautifully.
So they can sell them for faster and more money, probably.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So
it's amazing how the look changes everything, right? I mean, even though it's exactly the same thing, and you go visit my friends and houses, and sometimes they have everything so nice, everything so gorgeous individually.
Yeah.
But when you put these things together, it's like something is totally off, or it's just it looks just too cluttered.
Right.
Even when that is really not the case.
It's true.
So what I end up doing is I get rid of everything. So I get things in sets and I get rid of everything. At least I think that helps. But then that doesn't look that appealing, you know?
Well, I think a lot of people see things in sets, and they may have a long table and they get their 3 candlesticks, you know,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
they're
yes.
like, oh, that's exactly what I'm supposed to do.
Mm-hmm.
But with the balance and textures and things like that, you know, what a green plant would do with candlesticks, it changes the whole look.
Mm.
So it's just knowing what to put with it, maybe space it,
Mm-hmm.
things like that.
Or even the texture of the items.
Textures, yeah.
Or the colors even.
Exactly.
Mm.
It's all about balance.
What's in now? So the gray is now out, right? For
Well,
preparing.
The gray, but grayish is in.
Still in.
Yeah.
Ah.
So that's more of a
Lighter gray, you mean then? Or?
no.
It's like a
It's
beige.
actually a gray and a beige combination.
Oh.
So you can do a light one, you can do a brown one, but it has more of the brown tan undertones to it, and so it's a very nice neutral. It's warm, it's welcoming, and it's a neutral that anybody can move in with and feel like wonderful. You know, they start with a neutral palette. They can envision their lifestyle, their colors, and it works.
Mm-hmm.
So when somebody
well.
comes to you, like your client,
Mhm.
they need to sell their house.
Yeah.
So then how the process goes, like
How does the process go?
right.
So usually I have a talk with them and let them know, you know, just we talk about the boring stuff, the numbers
Right.
and everything,
Mm-hmm.
and we have to figure out whether it's worth their while to sell it, whether it's better to sell it as it is or well
do some
prepared.
work.
Yeah, and do some work to it to get top dollar, because that's really our goal. Our objective is always to get top dollar for our
Right, because
client.
you want to get the return on the investment that you're making.
Yeah, most of the time, it's worth it to present it right, because whenever we present homes that are as is, you know, even if the seller is reasonable with the price, people are always wanting to offer less. Always. Because they're like, well, I'm going to have to do this. And it doesn't matter if you price it, you discount it, they're still wanting to offer less. You offer a well-presented house, it's like people love it. They walk in and they're like, wow, this is great. You know, when you give people that feeling like, you know what, they could just move right in, it's worth something to them.
Even though they're not going to be the one keeping the furniture and all the things that are there, but I mean, they think that they can do it. They can.
But Joyce,
replicate it.
Sometimes we don't even furnish the house.
No.
Oh, you don't?
Sometimes it's just a matter of paint and things to clean up and things to fix, and many times we use their own furniture.
Just like this.
And it yeah, exactly. And it depends on, do they have a budget? Do they have something that they can put into the home that we can work with to change maybe major things, but it may be small things. But I think that when the buyer comes in and sees that there's been an intention to keep the house or present the house a certain way, it impacts the buyer because they can envision themselves in the home and know that somebody else took the time to do it. But also what we have found is that the seller also, when somebody feels proud about their investment, it changes the whole energy and dynamic. And the seller also feels very good about their home. And that is important for them to feel that. Many times when Soshana says, you know, we can have our team designer come out and, you know, it's a small flat rate just for her clients. And the thought for many people is a designer is so far out of reach.
I know. That's the first thing that comes to my mind, too.
Yeah.
Is she going to be so expensive? I cannot afford her.
And that's many times the reaction. Or I don't need one.
Right.
You know, but when they find out that they can actually have somebody come in and help them, it's a game changer.
It is.
You know, many of them are afraid too. They're like, oh, let me do some things, and then I'll tell you when the designer can come. And I'm like, there are so many things I've seen. It doesn't matter, because I'm here to help you, whether it's get rid of clutter or reorganize or whatever it may be that the home is needed. But they feel good. they feel good.
So then, like, so you see the need, let's say, like anybody can use the help. I mean, that's what I think. Right? Anybody. But like they come here, they have this fear of like, is that going to cost me too much? Then you bring her in, so then you give
I give them an idea. I give them an idea of the cost and why that's important, because we have a professional photographer that's going to come in.
Anyways.
And, once the pictures are taken, they're taken. So whatever comes out in that picture, there's no undoing it. I guess you can Photoshop it, but that's more expensive. Okay? To try to take out and fix this and that. We need to get it right on the first try.
Yeah, and then people look at the pictures to actually decide
if they're
whether they're
going to see it.
Yeah, whether they're going to even go. Yeah.
That's everything. If the pictures are not right, people are not going to come and see these houses. And Debra has helped investors. Okay, so a lot of investors, they may be people that work in construction or whatever. So they're like, I don't need a designer. Oh yeah, they do. Okay, they do, because a lot of times they have material from other jobs. They want to do it the way that they saw another project. And many times it turns out looking cheap, or it's not the right colors, not the right materials. And then whenever we're presenting the house, it's not selling. Okay, but then Debra, whenever she's incorporated at the appropriate time, she can advise them. She advises them as far as what type of materials you can use. She's considering their budget, considering what kind of look they want to have. She puts together, what do you call that? Your little
vision.
Her vision board.
Vision board.
Okay.
So it lays out and shows them
before you do anything.
Yeah, when I go there and talk to them, it's like I scan the place. We take notes and what needs to be done, what doesn't need to be done, what can, be okay. And then I leave and go through and I build a list from a priority basis. And let's say we're going to take out the carpet and we're going to put hardwood floors or vinyl floors throughout. I'll go and select a vinyl look. Backsplash, countertop, things like that. Whether it's searching it on the website or if I'm at a facility, and I can put together a look where they're like, oh, that works. I go even as detailed as, okay, we have the countertop, we have the backsplash, here's the hardware you should use.
So you do a lot more than the cosmetic, like moving furniture or putting the flowers.
Yeah.
Oh.
Even the exterior.
Yes.
Like we're like, I'll say, okay, if you have the budget to paint the exterior of your house, this is a game changer because it's about curb appeal. And so when people pull up to a beautifully painted, well executed palette, then they're like, oh, like nice. hear voices singing, because they're like, I think this is my home.
Yeah.
And putting the mulch or pine straw or whatever, just having the yard.
Even the yard.
Right, even the yard.
So then you work with contractors. I'm guessing that you have connections in terms of people you can refer clients to or work with.
Absolutely.
Oh.
In most cases, many of the people that we visit, they know someone who's a contractor, or they're very handy themselves. And they can do these things, which is great because it's more cost effective for them.
Right.
But it's just about giving them the idea and putting things together.
Right.
Kind of like what we did here.
Right. Right. Exactly.
We took things and we put it together, and it was like, oh, I didn't know that could happen.
Right. Well, the carpet. Actually, she helped us.
Yes.
She helped us put the carpet in.
She staged our set.
And so when she sent this picture of this carpet, I'm like, oh no, because my immediate reaction is like when things are so colorful, I kind of back out because I'm like, how's that going to look? Is that going to look too busy? Is that going to match with other things? And so I'm like, oh, I didn't want to. I said something, I guess, but I didn't want to say it too loudly. But when it came and I put it all together, and my son goes, I'm like, Mom, this looks okay. This looks actually very nice. Yeah. So, yeah, definitely.
Debra's really great at that. Like, I don't know if she gets into your brain or what she does. But she worked on our house. She helped us with our house.
That's really good.
Outside and inside.
Outside?
Outside and inside.
Outside and inside. Okay, poor Debra.
It actually wasn't as bad as what she's about to say.
So, you know.
But I think it's really great that you did. You know what? Usually what happens is like when we live in the house, we kind of live in the mess. When we're getting ready to sell the house,
yes.
That's when we're doing all kinds of stuff. I was like, why didn't we enjoy this ourselves?
Right.
You know?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
the neighbor asked me, so are y'all moving? I was like, no, I'm not moving.
No.
You know, it's like people do have that thought. Like, you know, you're only fixing your house for somebody else. And I'm like, I like my house.
Yeah, that's usually what happens. That's when people do all kinds of things, the remodeling and things. But I'm sure you all know, the little note is that like all these extra expenses that you incur, it will be tax deductible, right? Mm-hmm. So it'll be added as a selling expense. A lot of it, not everything, obviously. Yeah, so it'll be a benefit to the buyers and to the sellers.
The greatest thing about when I was doing Soshana and Eric's and helping them with the exterior, and we did, you know, their dining room and that, and with the exterior, you know, it was a nice, simple, and listening to them with the colors they liked, the style they liked, they didn't even know, especially Soshana, because I was like, we're going to turn this house into a mid-century modern, and she was like,
what the hell does that mean?
What is that? Right.
Yeah.
I looked it up, though. I did look it up.
She did look it up. She started looking. She said, send me some pictures. So I was showing her some different looks, and they were able to see it. And we went from a light blue stucco house with the goins, you know, in the corners, to a beautiful charcoal gray, big stairs and iron railings and cedar, you know, garage door and column, and then we did a great sidewalk, you know, in the front and courtyard, and the whole house looks completely different.
It does.
Dang, I need to go visit.
You have to see it. Yeah, she was like, "How did you know what I like?" But I listened to her.
Yeah.
No, you know what? I watched it on TV some time ago. It's like I thought this is what the designers do. Okay, is that they use software. So they create this room, like say this room, right? And then they change colors, they move things. Isn't that what you do?
I've seen that show.
It's part of it. But do you do that kind of like, do you use the software to do it? Or a lot of it happens in your head?
Most of it happens in my head.
Yeah, because when you did this, you didn't even...
No, we did this
in 5 minutes?
Yeah. So it's like most of it, when I see things and I see the couple or the person, and you kind of listen to like, okay, what do you envision, or what do you like, what don't you like, and if those things work with the style of the house or a portion of the style of the house, I can make it look like what they want. Just like when you have a couple that one is contemporary, one is traditional, you balance that out by making them both happy and infusing both looks. So, you know, it happens. Her dining room, she loves color. And her and Eric both love quirky art, you know. And they had fun art pieces and this fabulous table. And it was like, oh, I want this, but I don't know what to do. We found the most amazing colorful rug, these beautiful teal drapes, and the art and greenery. And literally it moved some things out. It changed the room.
And I have to remind you, look, we have a yellow, it's kind of a little bit of a soft yellow inside, you know, so everybody was going with cool colors, and I was so sick of the freaking yellow. I'm like, I'm sick of this yellow.
So you're wearing yellow, but anyways.
No, but inside your house, you know. And I told Debra, I was like, you know, I think we're gonna have to paint inside. And you know, we just had finished like coughing up a lot of money doing all the exterior of the house and landscaping, all that stuff. So she says, look, give me a chance to like help you out here. I think I can get that yellow under control. She certainly did. Because
you kept the yellow.
We kept the yellow.
Ooh.
We kept the yellow, and then she said, like, pick out a rug that you like. Okay, we picked out this rug. I love when I tell you I love that dining room, I love that dining room. It goes so well with the artwork.
Mm-hmm.
It like all ties together. Everything. The green, when she brought in the greenery and everything, I was like, oh my goodness, I can't even believe that this is my dining room. And the same thing happens whenever I pull up to my house. We did this in COVID time.
Yeah.
I still drive up to my house and I can't believe that that's my house.
Well, so you like it so much.
I do. So my neighbors like it a lot. That my neighbor across the street used the same color palette.
The exact.
I am curious. You know what? I want to hear. I hope that the viewers will comment on this because I want to hear what they have to say about somebody across the way.
Yeah.
Using the same colors. You know, and how they feel. Because I feel a certain kind of way, but I don't want to say.
They use the colors, but it doesn't look the same.
It doesn't look the
by
same.
all means.
It's a different house. It is a different house, you know. But other neighbors ask me, it's like, oh, so I see that the color, the yeah. So it is what it is. It is what it is. Somebody said that I should take it as a compliment.
Yeah,
you should take it as a compliment because it was your idea.
It is a compliment, but. If it was my neighbor copying my house across the street, I don't know that I would feel like, oh, he loved it so much he copied me. You know?
It's kind of like your girlfriend copying you wearing the same clothes.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. Oh, where did you get that skirt? And then the next time you see them, they have it on.
What are you doing with that skirt?
Well, I guess I'll never wear that again when I'm with you because we have to plan our wardrobe, right? It's like it's a compliment, but it's kind of a back-end compliment.
Oh, that's so funny.
It's a little strange.
So that's what you studied. Then how long have you been doing this?
I actually I've had my own design for almost 23 years.
Oh, you're really an expert on this.
You know, when I started, I was, later in years, and I was tired of corporate America, so went back to school. And my father made furniture and did houses and things growing up. So I guess part of it was in me. Some of it I didn't even know until one of my friends was like, why don't you do it? And I'm like, what? And I think it was my calling. It was what I was supposed to do because all of a sudden I started seeing it all.
Yeah,
for sure. Certainly.
Interesting.
But also I think for me, there's all different levels of designers. And for me coming out of school and getting into this, my passion really is giving to people that don't think they can have something. And so I didn't go just for a certain group. And it's allowing people to have a beautiful home, their investment, and make them feel really good about it. And when they come home, they're like, wow, I didn't know my house could be like this. There's nothing more amazing than finishing a room or a house and somebody walking in and you see like joy or tears.
Right. We've worked on really special projects.
Yeah.
I had a friend that she took care of her mom for many years until her mom passed. And she let me know that she needed to sell her house. And she just didn't have the resources. She used all her money taking care of her mom. So we were able to help her get a short-term loan so that we could help her get the house in good shape. And Debra came in, did her analysis, and figured out all that needed to get done. We got the contractors in line and everything set up. We did it, in record time.
8 weeks.
Yeah.
8 weeks?
8 weeks.
And that's from the time that we got that loan.
From the time we got to loan till the time.
Till closing.
Yeah.
That's right. It was we closed in 8 weeks.
It was we were hustling. And this wasn't just a simple, she had been in the house for many years and to piggyback on her story, if she wouldn't have invested in this, she would have made maybe $5,000 at closing.
Right.
But the things that she allowed us to do, like literally ripped out the floors, put all new floors in, all new paint, iron railings, took out the wooden banisters and put in wood stairs, took the carpet, added a bedroom, blah, blah, blah.
Oh, major.
Yes. Added all
In
new-
8 weeks?
In 8 weeks.
No, it was
Oh.
less than 8 weeks because as soon we closed it, like when it started till the day we closed, it was
a
8
total
weeks.
8 weeks.
Total.
Dang, you guys did it really
Yes.
fast.
It was like stayed on it the whole time. And the contractor and the team, they were great about being there on the weekends. We were able to coordinate, who goes first, who goes second. And,
wow.
it was, the house actually looked like a completely different house on the inside.
Mm-hmm.
The exterior, we cleaned up the yard, added things, new paint, all these fabulous things, new lights.
New
exterior
roof.
lights, when you add new exterior lights, that does something too. It's all
Yeah.
about the curb appeal. But what was so amazing is that she didn't know that this was going to look the way it did.
Right.
And she was actually living in it, trying to pack while we were doing the
Right.
construction.
Yeah.
And so for her to see the finished product, she was so excited
Yeah.
and so thankful
And proud.
and
Mhm.
proud.
Yeah.
And she was able to walk away with about $95,000.
It was a little bit more
More.
than that. It was right under 100,000,
Yeah.
and she could not believe it. She could not believe it.
That's really the
You
money
know.
well spent.
Absolutely.
It's very encouraging to hear though, is that because, well, like we all have dealt with some, designers like in my time too, in that like it seemed like, good designers are interested in working with, I guess, nicer, bigger houses. That's kind of like the impression
Right.
that I get. And
Right.
so small people feel like, would she be interested, in helping me, or would she be interested?
Right.
But it's really good to hear that you work with people at all different levels.
Right.
Absolutely. I've done anywhere from a $250,000 house to a $2 million house. It doesn't matter. It's like, for me, it is allowing that person to be blessed and really feel good about their home.
Yeah.
And for them to get the investment. Some people feel so defeated that they don't know of this. And of course, with Beautiful Georgia Homes, we have a unique package. And people will feel so defeated that they sell their homes to these big ones that'll come through and just buy up houses. But they're giving their money to somebody else, their equity.
Right.
Yeah, it's such
Instead
a
of
discounted
getting
price.
instead of really getting what they can and taking basically a leap of faith.
Right.
Because if this friend wouldn't have done this and taken the leap of faith and took the loan, she would have never been able to walk away with what she did. Because somebody else wouldn't have been thinking about her.
Right.
That's right.
Right.
So
most people will go like, let's just list it and sell it.
Right.
And especially even for the, I'm sorry to say this, but even for the, realtors, that's what they would a lot of times recommend.
Absolutely.
It's not, that big of a house, not that expensive of a house. So you take the percentage of what you get as a realtor. It's like, well, let's just put it up there and be done with it.
And the thing that I feel like matched us so well, Debra and I, is that we really, really like have the best interest of people in our hearts. We really want them to be empowered, to be able to like benefit from their own equity.
Yeah, and that's like the biggest investment for most people.
Absolutely.
House. And that's about it, really.
Absolutely.
So, I mean, walking away with that kind of money or the difference that they were able to make, that's amazing. That's really amazing.
Yeah. And we're able to help other people. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So what other designs that you would do? Like, so we know for sure that you work with, like, houses.
I do residential mainly. And then I've helped build, working with the contractors and building from the ground up. And then small offices. I don't do commercial or hospitality to align. I'm not schooled in that. That's not the area that I chose to excel in. And so I just I stayed where I feel was in my wheelhouse, in my area, to be a good designer for me and for somebody else.
But I have to say, last year, whenever we had our client appreciation party, like I said, this is not my thing. Decor and all that, that's not my thing.
But you know how to have fun.
I know how to have fun. That's right.
for sure.
Okay.
Yes.
And I do want the place to look amazing.
I know.
So, anyways, I talked to Debra about that because that's her department. And she's like, Soshana, don't worry about it. She had this vision. She explained to me about stuff. And I was like, it sounds great. I couldn't visualize it. I was like, oh man, this is going to be great. By this point, of course, I trust Debra.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
I just trust her.
And let's just say we had 6 weeks. 6 weeks to get everything. Get the plan.
But I'm going to tell you, that place it was stunning. It was so beautiful. And we had the lights dimmed down, and it was like all the arrangements were just beautiful. We had these balloons floating up in the air with lights around them, and the tables were, anyway.
So like you just got the sort of like an empty space, and you decorated everything.
Yeah,
Oh,
we got the empty space. It was during the holiday, and so there was a huge, beautiful tree and all the beautiful holiday colors.
Uh-huh.
And Soshana says, I don't want it to look like Christmas. Okay, we can work with this. And so that's when the vision came to me of, if we're doing a formal event, let's do it in beautiful Georgia home colors. And so everything was sapphire blue and cobalt blue and white, down to the napkins and the plates, and the centerpieces with floating pearls in them and flowers floating in them. And we had balloons, clear acrylic balloons that had white lights wrapped around them. And it was so powerful because we had everybody and it was stressful. It's like so stressful.
Because we didn't have that much setup time.
We didn't have the time. And then it was like, oh my God, people are showing up. We have to go get dressed into our formals, right? Sweating, working to get all this stuff. Light the candles. People are coming because I had floating candles. And people were walking in and they're like, oh my gosh. This is fabulous. And people were so excited walking in. And Soshana and Eric were glowing with pride.
Yeah.
Because they felt so good about the space,
Yeah.
It was fabulous.
It was very special. It
the
was
representation
very, very
of
it was.
Oh.
It was very, very nice. Like,
Christmas
in my mind, I'm like, how do you top that? I know Debra knows how, but in my mind, I'm like, wow. But it was amazing. It was really, really beautiful.
Oh,
and everybody
awesome.
commented on it. Everybody did.
Oh, everybody felt so good.
Yeah.
And to take it a step further, we had the vendors, me being one of them, as well as sponsors. And we all put in for gifts and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was like, oh, well, I got to take it to the top because, I'm the team designer, right? So I got these baskets and I filled we're going to do an Italian basket. I did a coffee bistro basket and then another one. And I wrapped it with clear, but I put lights inside.
Yeah.
And I had a little battery pack. So when it came time, I turned on the lights, And two of the gals that got them, they were like, oh my God, they're holding it. They're so excited. I was like, do you want your picture taken? I was also taking pictures of everybody, doing portrait pictures and stuff. And they're like, yes. And, they were so happy.
I have to tell you, Debra is like top notch, okay? Because when you get a gift from Debra, it's like,
oh dang. How do you reciprocate that? My gosh.
But I feel the same way with that as the way I do with design.
Yeah.
For me, to give somebody a gift that is about them and something that that they would really like and wrap it in a way like greens and trinkets and all just kind of things on it. To give somebody a gift like that, just is so exciting.
Yeah.
It really is.
Wow.
I just wish I had just a little bit of that talent. But you know what? I have other
when
types of
you
talent.
put this up, you took pictures and everything of the party. Yep. Just include it, show a little piece of.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, we could do that. We can do that.
Yeah.
Some of the faces.
Some of the faces and how it looked.
Yeah,
Oh my God. Are you going to
good.
do a party this year again?
I hope so.
Oh.
I hope so. We need some sponsors.
Okay, what do I get in return then?
Oh,
I need to get some kind of return.
you'll have a wonderful return on
All
your
right.
investment. I promise.
Sounds good. Sounds
Yeah.
good. All right.
Anyways, well, Debra, it's so nice to have had you with us.
Thank you.
This is so much fun. I told you that it was going to be fun with Debs.
I know. Yeah.
And I call her Debs, by the way.
She's the only one who calls me Debs.
Is she the only
started
one
that from the beginning.
allowed
She's
to
like,
call
"My
you Debs?
Yes. Nobody else calls me Debs.
Oh, and I don't know if I said this. If I said it, I'm sorry. I'm going to say it again. Whatever Debra touches turns to beautiful. And it's really true.
You said it.
Thank you so
Second
much.
time?
You're amazing for saying that.
Oh, that's
Beautiful Georgia homes. I will say, I've known a lot of real estate agents, and I was an agent at one time, but I've never met a person or team that is so passionate about their people.
Yeah. She's a gem.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm keeping her close.
And she's a gem too. We'll talk. We'll get to you.
I think our time is about up.
Yeah, it is.
Oh.
It is. But you'll have to come back and visit us, okay?
I would love to. I would love to.
Well, let's talk
come back.
about the psychology. I think it'd be really behind all this.
I think that would be great.
Yeah.
We can start there and see where it goes.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Let's do it. Well, thanks,
Perfect.
everyone. I'm Soshana.
And I'm Joyce.
And we had Debra Kulas with Debra Kulas Design Associates. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for watching this week's video. If you have questions on anything we covered or you'd like to ask us, just leave it in the comments below. We love to hear what you have to say about what we talked about and what you want us to talk about. Please like us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram, and subscribe to our channel. See you next time.